Greetings, dear representatives of the sign of Aries. Here is a detailed astrological analysis for the entire year 2000. Today, we will look at each of the 12 months sequentially so that you have a comprehensive understanding of the period that will begin soon. I want to outline the main thing right away. The coming period will be a time of your internal strengthening and external growth. You will have to lay the foundation for a completely new reality, and the direction of these changes can be any. We are talking about professional self realization, personal connections, anything. The doors to fundamental transformations will open before you. It is possible that you will enter a completely unexplored chapter of your existence. The cosmic instructions are so explicit and numerous that it simply will not work to maintain the old way of life. Make yourself comfortable, dear Aries. So, let's get started. First of all, I will outline the key areas of the initial period of the year, and then we will delve into the specifics of individual months. We should start with Pluto, the celestial body with the most powerful influence on the course of our lives. In the coming year, this planet will continue its movement through your 11th zone, where it has already firmly established itself. The 11th area is responsible for what place you occupy among people, how important you are perceived by the environment or society as a whole. This also includes your ideas, commercial activities, and visibility in the social space, including the digital environment. Under the influence of this planet, you will begin to build up your inner strength and outer presence. Others will gradually begin to read you as a person with a core to lean on and to whom you can entrust large-scale tasks. Pluto is already where we designated it. We just recorded this important trend. Now let's move on to the specific events of the first month of the year. On January 26th, Neptune, a planet with a slow cycle, enters directly into your sign, into the first area of the horoscope. When such a celestial body enters our zodiac sector, life inevitably begins to change. Neptune governs feelings, creativity, and inner aspirations. He will settle in your sign for a long time, for about a decade. This means that you will have the opportunity to exist in accordance with your true desires, to build a life the way your heart dictates. As for the very first month, the year opens on a rather serious note for you. It doesn't look like you'll be inclined to long celebrations. The reason lies in Mars, your main planet, which determines the distribution of your energy. Until January the 23rd, Mars is located in your 10th area, the zone of career, goals, and ambitions. This is a period when you are absorbed in something essential and are focused on getting concrete results. You are celebrating the new year in a rather business-like mood. You may have to deal with professional issues or tasks that require concentration. Even if the celebration is joyful, some part of your attention will still remain focused on business and goals. On January 23rd, Mars shifts to the 11th region, where Pluto is already located. The meeting of Mars with Pluto creates a powerful enhancement of your vital energy. After the 23rd day, in the final week of the month, an exceptionally active period begins. Perhaps you can handle some particularly difficult task. This is a time when favorable circumstances need to be used without delay. Immediately mark the last week of January as a period of maximum productivity. On February 14th, Saturn enters your sign, the first area of the horoscope. Saturn is an extremely specific planet, a planet of structure, work, and intentions. This is the foundation in the literal and symbolic sense. When Saturn enters your sign, it meets Neptune. In fact, the first half of the year is the time when Saturn and Neptune move side by side in your sign. What does this imply? It reads literally as follows. Saturn declares a serious lifestyle, and Neptune complements it. I do this in accordance with my inner needs as my soul dictates. Not just following a duty, but in accordance with personal desires. This is a unique combination of heavenly powers. You will be able to realize exactly what you feel. Do you understand? Exactly what you feel. It can be about a new professional path, a new activity, new connections, about anything. The first area concerns you directly. What decisions you make is the reality that you will build. When something globally significant happens in our sign, as is happening with you now, it means that you can determine the shape of your life for yourself. The first area is a choice that you make yourself. You decide. From the middle of February, you begin to seriously consider how you imagine your future existence. It's a good time for such thoughts. However, February and March are not the time for active actions yet. I'll explain why now. The first eclipses of the year take place in February. There will be 4 of them in total, the usual number. Eclipses usually mark periods when we decide to make major changes. But an important point is that right at the moment of the eclipses themselves, we may be in a somewhat clouded state, under the influence of their energy. Therefore, it is not recommended to be active during eclipses. Let's take a closer look. On February 17th, the first eclipse will take place in your 11th area. This is a solar eclipse involving the karmic node of the future. It marks the beginning of a new life cycle. This eclipse itself is already opening up a new round. In the coming year, there's a change in the cycles of eclipses. On February 17th, the eclipse of the new cycle begins, when you make a decision about how you want to live on. An eclipse in the 11th area means that you are discovering new horizons. Remember, the 11th area is a new social role, a new position among people, perhaps a new business, a new idea that makes you visible to society or online space. It can also be a change of social circle, when new people enter your life. These are the ideas that can arise during this period. Now, an important point about February. Why is February not a time for action, but a time to prepare for a breakthrough? On February 26th, the Mercury retrograde period begins, which will last until March 20th. Mercury retrograde is not a good time for serious starts. Plus, eclipses. Let's continue with the eclipses. On March 3rd, the second eclipse takes place, the lunar eclipse of the old cycle at the karmic node of the past. It closes previous programs. This is the moment when you close the old door. February and March are a time of inner change when you realize the following. There's a new door in my life ahead, and to enter it, I need to close the door to the past. The March eclipse takes place in the 6th area, the area of work, routine, and the rhythm of life in which you existed. You will be completing something in March. In February, you already understand what your new reality is, how to arrive at it, and what needs to be completed. February and March are the months when you stand at a fork in the road to a new life. If you were thinking and planning before April, then in April, Mars passes through these planets, the foundation stones of your new life, and gives an impetus to everything. You begin to act. The most important indication is that on April 17th, there is a new moon in your sign. The new moon is the moment when new doors open. This new moon will happen immediately after the eclipses. The third area is change, movement, mobility, new contacts and connections, and media. You are literally moving onto new life tracks, and life has been gaining momentum since April. So January, February, March are the time for thinking, making decisions, weighing and closing old doors. And in April, that's it, the start. A real runway awaits you. Until May 19th, Mars remains in your sign. You are as active as possible. I would like to emphasize once again that the period from April 10th to May 19th, when Mars is in your sign, is the time of peak activity. Plan whatever you want for this time. Immediately mark this gap in the calendar. On May 19th, Mars moves into the second area, the area of money and earnings. In the second half of May, you start earning very actively. In June, Mars remains in the second area until the end of the month. The focus on earnings and money remains. On June 29th, Mars will move to the third region, where Uranus is already located. From the end of June, you will experience a lot of trips, mobility, and activity in your life. But this is the final of June. On the 30th of June, a very significant event takes place. Jupiter, the planet of luck, and empowerment, is entering your fifth realm for a full year. The fifth area is love, relationships, children, and your creativity. Starting on June 30th, and for the year ahead, Jupiter in the fifth region means that you will start to get lucky in love. Jupiter in the fifth region often indicates the birth of children. It is also possible that you will start working with children if this is part of your plans. Or you will reveal yourself from the creative side. Considering that your 11th area is strongly influenced by Pluto, perhaps you will start singing, dancing on stage, and become a popular person. Or you'll be blogging. Jupiter in the 5th area is very helpful in working with social media and attracting people's attention. A very favorable position. At the end of June, Mercury retrograde begins again, from the 29th of June to the 24th of July. Please note, the end of June and the whole of July is not a suitable time for serious endeavors. When Mercury is retrograde, it is better not to enter into large transactions, not to register commercial structures. It's good that you know about this in advance. It's much easier to plan than to find out at the last moment from monthly forecasts. Check your subscription to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe after watching it. The beginning of July will be very active. Mars will merge with Uranus. The first week of July will be spent in frenzied activity, despite Mercury retrograde. It is important to remember that Mars and Uranus always have accidents. It is better not to plan trips for the first week of July. I understand summer is vacation time, but when you know in advance, you can plan differently. The risk of accidents is really high when Mars is connected to Uranus. In July, a landmark event takes place. Karmic nodes change signs. Karmic nodes determine our direction in life, and their position determines where eclipses occur. The node of the future enters your 11th area, where Pluto is located, the area of your visibility, popularity, social role, and personality enhancement. At the end of July, the karmic node of the future enters there and activates this topic even more. The second half of the year is the period when you become more socially visible. Your role is being strengthened. Perhaps you will scale your commercial project, or you will become a more visible person at work. Pay attention to this. The karmic knot of the past enters the 5th area. Love, relationships. When the nodes are so distributed, the node of the future in the 11th, the node of the past in the 5th, you are more focused on developing yourself in society. Relationships are becoming less of a priority. It's not that they won't be, it's just that the accents are shifting. When nodes are on this axis, it always means the importance of both relationships and social development. But you need to rely more on how you want to develop in society. Then everything will be fine with the relationship too. The right balance is important. In August, there is a second corridor of eclipses. Remember, when eclipses occur, we make decisions, but it's better not to act actively yet. August is generally quieter than February and March. If you do something in August, it will be safer. There is no retrograde of the planets, at least. But you need to know about eclipses. On August 12th, there will be a solar eclipse in your 5th area at the karmic node of the past. This is the eclipse of a new cycle. Most likely, you will make decisions on the topic of love and relationships. The fact that an eclipse occurs at a node in the past does not necessarily mean the end, but indicates the need to make a decision. What's next with our relationship? You don't leave anything in limbo. The relationship will be clarified. It is also possible that you will become parents here, if this is in the plans, or your adult children will bring you some news. Either your popularity is activated, you become visible through creativity. On the 28th of August, the second eclipse takes place, the lunar eclipse of the old cycle at the node of the future. Here you really understand. In order to move on, you need to finally complete everything that is still hanging in the air. At the end of August, you will set the final points. In fact, August can solve or resolve what remained unresolved in February and March. You are already moving into a new one. April has launched it, but August shows the interim results and helps to complete the processes that are still dragging on. On August 11th, Mars enters your 4th area, the topic of family, real estate, places of residence, relocation. Perhaps due to the eclipses in August, you will decide to move, to finish living in this place and move somewhere else. September may be a crucial month. Why? In September, there will be a full moon in your sign, in the 1st area of the horoscope. The full moon is very often associated with making key decisions. This full moon will occur directly on Neptune, in the 4th degree of the sign of Aries, next to Neptune. And Neptune is a planet that joined your sign in January. There may be either serious results from what you have already done, or you are making some key decision, for example, about moving or about a new way of earning money. September is the month of important decisions. It is also better not to register commercial structures or make serious initiatives. Why? Because both Mercury and Venus are retrograde here. Venus is the main planet of union, love, and relationships. Venus is retrograde from the 3rd of October to the 14th of November. Mercury is retrograde from October 24th to November 13th. What can I do in October and the first half of November? Review financial affairs, close debts and obligations. But don't start something globally new. At the end of November, on the 26th, Mars will move to the 6th region, the area of routine and work. He will stay there for the end of November and the whole of December. The end of the year will be focused on work tasks and routine tasks, a fairly quiet period. The only thing is that the beginning of December is also traumatic because Uranus is making a square to Mars. It is better not to plan trips for the first week of December if possible. Let's summarize the results. 2026 year is extremely potential for you. Let's go over the structure of the year. January, February, March are the time for drawing up a global plan. You ponder, weigh, close old doors. April is your start. After the 10th, let's go and do everything. May, we continue this trend. The last 10 days of May are focused on money. June, the focus on money continues. At the end of the month, Jupiter changes its sign and begins to give you luck and love. This lasts for the entire second half of the year. August is a trigger month with eclipses. Decisions are made about love and relationships. September, we start again, we do something important. We make key decisions. Moving is possible. If you started something new in April, then the results are already visible in September and you continue to strengthen. October and November, we're being careful. We do not form alliances or register commercial entities. Rethinking life, taking stock. December is a month that ends routinely. You clearly understand that the plan has been completed, the start has been established, and it is clear how to enter the 27th year. Dear Aries, if this forecast resonated in your heart, if you recognized yourself and your life in it, write the word beginning in the comments. It's more than just a word. It's your message to the universe that you're open to change for the better. Please like it to seal this energy in your destiny and so that every morning it gives you confidence, inner peace, and that quiet joy that cannot be taken away.